you are just as hard up to win as I am.
I want to win. But then I see, like, we'll have couples over, friends over for a game night, and the other couples are so sweet to each other and, like, helping each other. I feel like they look at us and they're like, these people are insane.
It's because they have no drive. They don't understand what it means to win. No, I agree. There are couples like that. And we see them and we go, oh, if only we were those two people. But both of us are not those people. We're both very competitive.
Do you think people ever come over and at the end of the night they're like, I don't think we should play games with them anymore?
I'll be honest with you. I don't care.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
You're listening to Those Married Idiots. How to survive game night.
And this isn't necessarily for everybody. This is more like us describing and trying to figure out how to survive game night with each other.
And you came up with this.
I did. I think this is absolutely a valid topic. And it's more about everyone plays games differently. You know, I feel like there are very different personalities when it comes to games. And game night could be game night with your significant other. It could be game night with a group or a party. It could be game night with kids. But everyone has, I think, different personalities that come out of them the moment a game is on the table.
But before we dive into it, because I feel like you're already there.
Oh, yeah.
We have to start with, what are we grateful for from this week and what pissed us off?
Okay. Is it what did you do that I'm grateful for? Or is it just something about you?
Something about.
Okay. Let's do it.
Okay. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night with the worst headache ever. And my baby over here went downstairs and made me homemade oatmeal at 2 a.m. It was so delicious. He brought me up my water with apple cider vinegar because sometimes that helps get rid of headaches. And he brought up my, I don't know, I call it like a head condom.
Which I got you for Christmas.
Which you got me for Christmas. And it's so good, you guys. It's something...
Drink.
It's something you put over your head that you keep in the fridge or the freezer, and it compresses your head, but then also makes it cold, and you put it over your eyes, and it's just wonderful. So I appreciate that.
Just disclaimer, if you buy one of these compression bands that you put in the freezer, I did this research when I first bought it. Don't put it in the freezer standalone. It will soak in all of the fumes and things about the other food, and then it'll eventually just smell like food.
Yeah.
Food. So you want to put that thing in a baggie if you're going to buy one of those. I just don't want anyone to go like, ooh, what a great idea, and then hate us for giving that recommendation.
No, we keep it in a plastic Ziploc.
Yes, we do.
So what are you grateful for?
Well, first I just want to say, sleep is not going to stop me from helping you with something.
I know, and that's going to be so great when we finally have kids.
Oh, I already have a plan for that.
Oh, no.
Well, I'm already a night owl. So
that's true.
Any like 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. shifts, I'm going to be like, no problem. I got a little dude or chick in my hand, and then I'm reading or scrolling or emailing with the other hand. Like, I'm ready for that life, said the guy who does not have kids.
You're going to be going to bed with me when I go to bed. And let's be real, I've heard that I will probably be the one that's having to wake up to feed said baby.
No, because you can pump beforehand and then have bottles.
Oh, that's true.
I can prep
We'll figure it out.
Here's the thing.
Figure it out.
I feel like we sound super confident, and we have no idea
then
what
you're
we're
like,
walking into.
What are we doing?
Yeah,
because I wasn't someone who babysat.
All right. Well,
but babe, what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for your clinginess.
My clinginess?
Your clinginess.
I'm such a clinger.
I may give you a hard time for it, but at the same time, I love that you every night are going to have the demand that we watch something together or do something together. You push for us to always sit down at dinner together. And if there's time and we're not in a rush, or if we're not just exhausted, then we're going to also pull out a game and play it with each other. Just things that I obviously want, but sometimes lose sight of because I'm trying to, juggle other things. So that clinginess makes sure that we stay thick as thieves.
You heard it here. He's thankful for my clinginess.
It only took 15 years for that appreciation to grow.
Okay, what did you do this week that pissed me off? This isn't really something you did that pissed me off, but it is something, it's like a constant. In your office, you have this long, ugly folding table with just all this camera gear
Time
and
out. That is not constant. That was put there about a month ago.
2 months.
You don't like the table and the stuff on it.
I don't like the table and I don't like the stuff on it and the boxes under it. It's just so much messiness. Like literally, I feel like anytime you use a piece of gear, you're just like, let me just throw it on the table with the other stuff.
What you're not seeing as she talks about how annoyed she is are the 2 tripods, 2 cameras, 2 mic stands, cabling, lights, light stands,
we're using right now?
the microphones, the cases for all of this stuff.
Yes. But this is all being used. The stuff up there, I think the things in those boxes, you don't want to.
I think you have no idea.
You don't want to go through those boxes. We moved like 8 months ago, and these boxes, I feel like you don't want to have to go through them because you know how chaotic they are. And I'm like, let's just throw them out.
Yes, we could throw all those boxes out, and then inevitably 2 months from now you'd go, where's that thing? And I'd say, we threw it out with those boxes. And you'll say, oh, well, I didn't mean that you should have kept. So you get to just go, did it go? It shouldn't have gone, but I have to organize this stuff so that we don't accidentally throw away stuff that we don't need. And here's the thing, that's a bonus room right now. I have my office space tucked away into the side of that room. I've made it a gym for you, and there's still a ton of extra space. And before that table was set up, these boxes were sitting on the floor, just spread out through the room. I understand I'm not perfect, and I understand that I have not finished organizing and unpacking the house, but it is getting better day by day. And if for those of you that don't have spouses saying, by the way, we should do a podcast. By the way, we need to film all these videos. By the way, I want to go out on a date night tonight. Maybe if we didn't have those things, that organization would happen faster.
Fair enough. Anyways, that pissed me off.
Yeah, that's dumb.
That pissed me off.
Something you did that pissed me off.
As he looks around the room.
I'm looking around. Looking around the universe.
On the bookshelves? Is there a book you bought that pissed me off?
None of the books you buy piss me off. I won't say that this one pisses me off because this is probably just going to be something that you say, actually, that pisses me off. What I'm going to say is I don't think this is fair.
Okay.
In this new house, we have a refrigerator that has one of the doors just refuses to stay closed. So if you close it and then you close the other door, it pushes it open a little bit. If you don't make sure that it properly sealed, it opens a little bit. Now, sometimes it's like it's open by an inch or two and you're probably losing some
Well, then
cold.
It blinks at you, I think.
Yes, but there's also times when it's open like a crack, and you just know that it's not quite closed, and the beeping doesn't go off, and the other stuff doesn't go off. But the next person to come to the door, they go to close it, they go, oh, it was open. And that's usually Alyssa who finds it open, which means hypothetically it's usually me that leaves it open. But here's why this is not fair, is because I will go get something from the fridge. I will close the fridge intentionally and make sure that I closed the door. And then I will walk back into the room, and halfway through my route back into the room, Alyssa will go, oh, could you grab me something from the fridge, baby? Could you grab me something, baby? And I'm like, okay, I was in the middle of doing this, but now I'll go back and quickly grab that. And now I'm in a hurry because like I was coming to the couch or I was going to wherever I was going. So then I run, I grab something, and I'm like, all right, I'll also do that.
It doesn't take long. Just shut it. I'm going to put a big ass sign, like an ugly sign that's like, close the door. Triple check it.
The point is not the door, though. My attention is now on you and not on the external world around.
Well, how about this? Because usually what you're talking about
No, this wasn't something where we need to figure out a solution.
No, but listen.
I was just saying this ain't fair.
But listen, this tends to happen at night when we're going to watch something or watch a game or whatever.
No, it happens in the morning. You say this all the time. All throughout the day, Alex, you left the fridge open, which, by the way, sometimes I go to the fridge and I know you were the last one to do it. And I go, Alyssa, yes, the fridge is open. Oh.
Okay, well, last night it was you because I asked you, you went and got a drink. And then I was like, oh, babe, will you get me one? So why not just get me whatever you're drinking? Because 9 times out of 10, I want it.
Except I've done that and you've gone, oh, I didn't want that right now. I caught you. I have tried that strategy. Look, I brought you one too. I'm so thoughtful. Nah, not thirsty right now. But maybe go put it back in the fridge. And then when you're back in the room, I'll think of something else for you to go back to the fridge to grab.
I'm just helping you get your steps in, babe. You're welcome.
Should we talk about game night?
Let's talk about how to survive game night.
Okay, there's going to be a lot of interrupting, I think, in this conversation because we have very different views on each other and the behavior of game night.
Sure.
You think I'm going to start rather than saying my whole view and how I play and what's wrong with you. I'm going to do my best to say what I think your idea of me as a game night participant is. You think that I'm way too aggressive. That when game night comes, I just turn it up to 11 and then blow out the speakers and I am
aggressive toward me. If we're in a group, it's always toward me.
Okay. I think you've also just said that you're just way too much because it's been with other people too.
You are. And you get that from your mom.
Okay. Just shots fired for no reason. I hope she's listening. She'll just be like, yeah, he does.
I've already told her. I'm like, by the way, Chris, I will not play that game with you anymore.
That's right. That happened. Anyway, you think I'm way too aggressive. You think that I target you and single you out and that you're the only object of my, path of destruction when we're playing a game. And I have no other objective except to like demolish you or make sure that you lose.
Absolutely.
That is not true. I just want you to know that.
Okay.
That is not how I feel.
Okay. Well, on the flip coin, you think...
The flip coin?
Isn't that a word? Like, on the flip side?
The flip side... You got it.
Well, now it's called the flip coin.
That's... Any coin is a flip coin, babe. They have two sides. You flip them.
Now, on the flip coin, I'm the heads. On the flip side, you think that I act all clueless and like, need help. Poor little girl over here doesn't know how to play the game. And I'm trying to get others to join me in helping me so that I get an edge.
Okay, to be fair, I don't think that. I know that you do that. I watch you play the same game.
No.
And the fifth time you've played it, just like the first time you played it, you're like, oh, it's always so hard for me to figure this part out. What do you think I should do? What do you think I should do? And look, I think this is endearing. You enlist the help of the other players. They like this because they get to be involved and help you out. And
you could do that too.
And you like this because it does, in fact, give you an edge where you're getting lots of other input from people.
Except then you're like, oh, I'm going to take down Alyssa, you guys. She's about to win. Take her down. Just like that. That's your voice. Take her down.
Definitely not. So it's not about you losing. It's about me exposing the behavior at the beginning of the game. And I know that I do this too much, but I will say to people like, don't feel like she's as naive as you might think she is. She's played this game. She's won this game. She knows the rules. She doesn't need your help. She doesn't need you to guide her, and she doesn't need you to feel like, oh, it'd be great if we're playing Catan and I could give her an extra resource. It sounds like she needs it. Don't treat her that way because she's smarter than that. She's more cunning than that. And she, even though she doesn't come at it aggressively, is just as determined to win. You are just as hard up to win as I am.
I want to win. But then I see, like, we'll have couples over, friends over for a game night, and the other couples are so sweet to each other and, like, helping each other. I feel like they look at us and they're like, these people are insane.
It's because they have no drive. They don't understand what it means to win. No, I agree. There are couples like that. And we see them and we go, oh, if only we were those two people. But both of us are not those people. We're both very competitive.
Do you think people ever come over and at the end of the night they're like, I don't think we should play games with them anymore?
I'll be honest with you. I don't care. I mean, look, it's not like we're flipping tables and flipping boards over. It's not like we're getting into screaming matches. We raise our voices.
Yes.
We get, I think, indignant.
Yes.
But we never get to like domestic dispute,
No. I think the game that this happens on the most is Settlers of Catan. And every time we play that game, also you've played that game on your phone a lot. So I feel like you really know it. And it's not one of the games we bring out like all the time, but when we do, and it's true at the beginning, because for those of you who haven't played, well, I'm not even going to get into the rules. It's a little complex, but when you get to choose like, where do I want to put my
How do you set up your guys on the land?
Yeah. And I'm always curious, like, what do you think the best option is? That's not like me trying to get them on my team. I like input. That's just how I am.
No, but that's just one example. I could give you 10 examples of how you play this way in Catan or any other game for that matter.
No, not any other game.
Uh-huh.
Clue?
Clue's hard because you can't share information.
Okay.
So you can't.
Parcheesi, you always are like, kill Alyssa, take her back to home.
Here's the thing, though. In Parcheesi, no one's doing it. So all these games that maybe people have no idea how to play. Parcheesi is basically the older, more legit version of Sorry. So you can like land on someone's space and send them back, and you can create this block so no one can get past you. Or you can just try and get around the board and get to your space and finish the game. Mm-hmm. So someone will roll the dice, and I will see that they could stomp on you. I won't say anything. I will also not necessarily stomp on you, but I might like create a blockade or do something else that's in my favor. Mm-hmm. And you'll say this whole time, by the way, oh, I didn't realize we were being mean this game. I didn't realize we were sending people home. Why do you have to be like that? All this other stuff. So I won't until it serves you. And then you're just like stone cold killer. I'm sending you home. I'm sending you home. I'm sending you home. And all of a sudden, like the mercenary is out of the box and you're just like whipping people everywhere. And then I go, wait a minute. I thought we were being nice this game. So now I know we're not being nice. And I go at you. I'm only acting in my self-interest. It's not against yours.
I just think we would do better to just not
play games at all. Ever.
That can't happen. I love games way too much, and so do you. But I think, especially when we have friends over, we should just do our thing, but not get into telling other people what to do.
You can't do that.
Yes, I can. No. I don't tell people what to do.
Wait, hang on.
Not telling other people what to do.
Not get into doing the thing that Alex does, but no rules or boundaries on the things that Alyssa does. Is that what we're taking away here?
Exactly.
Great. This is why I call you out in games, because you're totally fine to implement a rule that affects the person that you want to have more rules, but not change yourself.
You can ask other people their advice.
Right. You can do your thing, but I can't do mine.
Exactly.
And I will keep fighting you tooth and nail because I can't let you get away with this.
Okay, you guys, whose side?
Drink!
Whose side are you on here? Leave it in the comments. Or do you have a similar thing with your significant other? Are you guys like tooth and nail, like, oh, it's on? Like, how do you play games with your spouse? And how do you approach games? Do you get into similar fights like we do? Or are you gentle and sweet to each other? We want to hear from you guys. And oh, that one doesn't count.
Yes, it does.
No,
absolutely.
We want to hear from you.
Y'all.
We want to hear from all y'all.
There you go.
So yeah, let us know. Are we the only ones?
I will say, if we were looking for a resolution to this, I think this, of all the things, the deep problems that we have in our relationship or have had at any point in our relationship, I feel like we actually get to the bottom of those and really sort them out.
Yeah.
This one, to actually sort out, would take some like digging and some emotional work from both of us. And because this isn't really a high stakes thing, I don't think we're ever going to. I think we're going to be like, nah, I'm going to keep my aggression. You're going to keep your subversion, and we're just going to go at it.
It's true. All bets are off on game night, which is why I tend to gravitate toward games where as a group you have to beat the game, like Pandemic.
Should we go through our favorite games and like talk through which ones we love?
Yes. Okay, good.
I think there's some crossover, so I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
Because I will have extra games even beyond what you have on your list.
Sure. All right. I'm going to start with hands down my favorite game. This is the game that I always want to play if we're having dinner or if people are coming over that I know they haven't played the game, and that is Pandemic.
It's not what it sounds like. It's actually exactly what it sounds like.
It is exactly what it
sounds
sounds
like. It's not COVID related.
No, it actually came out before COVID, but it is the perfect game, and it's a group game. So Alex and I cannot go after each other because we either all win or we all lose, and it's so much fun. If you haven't played, don't walk, run to your nearest target.
It is, I will say, perfect game is the right way to describe it. The way it's built is so good.
It's just perfect.
Everything about it is great. It is a hard game. It's a complex game, and there's a bit of setup. We've gotten really fast at it.
We have.
But it's so much fun.
It's worth learning, and it's so fun. Our friend Drew, who introduced us to it, shout out. Thanks, Drew.
Absolutely.
But he had a group of friends, kind of like people do D&D. He would have his Pandemic group, and they would play like every week and keep upping the difficulty because you can do that. Anyways, that's my first favorite.
I also think he recommended that to us because he got to see firsthand how at each other's throats we were.
Totally.
He was like, there's this game where you two could be as aggressive as you are
Here you
to
go.
save the world together.
And we're good at it.
We've gotten a lot better at it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Moving on from that, another newer game is called Ticket to Ride. It's a train game. We do get into fights over this game, but it's still a really fun game. Highly recommend.
Titans of industry, of course, we're going to fight with each other. You have to make railroad lines all throughout the U.S. and you're competing, so sometimes your railroad lines runs into the other person's.
And if you are blocking my railroad,
and you get points. You get points for having longer railroad lines than shorter ones.
Yeah.
We should, I'm just going to give like a quick little tiny synopsis on each one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then classic games, Mealborn, which I think is from the 50s or 60s.
Classic, but probably not known about by a lot of this generation.
I didn't know about it until you got it for me a few Christmases ago.
My mom showed it to me when I was a very young kiddo.
Yeah, it's really fun.
It's basically you're trying to race everyone who's playing is a car in a race. Mealborn is Italian for 1,000 miles.
Yes.
Or is it French? No, it's Italian.
It's Italian. The first one to get 1,000 miles wins. And there's ways of blocking each other and
Yeah,
stopping them.
you need a go card. If you get a stop card, you can't go. You can get flat tires and you can run out of gas and you can get into an accident. And then you have to put down mileage cards to try and hit the 1,000 miles and win the race. And everyone's trying to stop each other and get themselves to go farther.
Yeah.
It is cutthroat.
Oh, it's on my list.
So fast to play.
So fast. Classic games that I love. Clue. Everybody knows Clue. Parcheesi. Settlers of Catan, even though we always kill each other, it is a favorite.
That's on my list.
It's on my list too,
Okay.
bitch. And then card games. This is like my favorite game. It's an Argentinian card game called Canasta.
And if you think it originated somewhere else, we have no clue. But we learned it from an Argentinian extended family member.
It's like if you mixed gin rummy with club whist. It's so fun. In fact, we've taught our neighbors how to play. We've taught other friends how to play just because it's more fun with more people.
And if you love making up new rules every time you play, it's the perfect game for you.
Yeah, if you're gonna play with my mom. Every game, my mom and Alex will get into it with what rules. Now we have a thing where before we start, we lay out what the rules of the game are going to be this time.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
It keeps everything kosher. We listed it because there's so many varieties of canasta.
There are.
And that's part of the reason it's so fun is that you can play it so many different ways and you can make it a more challenging or less challenging version of the game. You can play with more decks or less decks.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of ways to play it. And you and I never know what version we're walking into when we play with your parents because they've been out playing with other people and they've come up with a new thing. And
I know. Every time they play and see their friends who Diana taught it to them, she's Argentinian. It's like, oh, but Diana taught us this. And we're like, no, that is not. That's not how we're playing. Not at this table. But I will say one of my favorite date nights, and it's so simple, is to go pick up Five Guys burger and fries. Five Guys is probably my favorite burger.
It's an indulgent meal, yeah.
Open a really nice bottle of natural wine and play board games with you,
I mean,
my love.
oh, I love
Mi
you too.
amore.
Mi amore.
It's just so fun.
We don't even need the burger and the wine, though. I mean, we've gotten to a point now where we're so dialed in that if you're cooking something that takes a little longer, I will take that time and set up
Set up
Pandemic.
Pandemic.
But if we have something quick or that we ordered out, Mealborn.
Mealborn.
Those are our two go-tos right now. And
I
we can
know.
play 3 or 4 games of Mealborn. And really, we could play more than that. It just depends on if we're winning an even amount or if someone's losing every time, which happens.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm not having good luck tonight.
Okay, your turn.
My turn.
Hopefully
Well,
this is shorter. I know it's all including all mine.
a lot of those games are on my list. I love Settlers of Catan, all the ones you mentioned. I also love Risk, which I don't get to play very often in person. I've played maybe 2 or 3 times in person, and it's a very long game to play in person.
Never played.
But I have it on my phone.
Yeah.
And you can skip all the dice rolling and just, you know, if you have a bunch of players or a bunch of your men against an opponent's men, rather than rolling the dice 50 times, you just hit a button once and it gives you the outcome of all of those rolls. So that makes me able to play a Risk game in like 30 minutes, and I can play with people online in real time. I love poker. I love poker. It's just super fun to have a boys' night or a co-eds with poker. It's great. I really like Cards Against Humanity, old standard,
It's a good one.
because I played Apples to Apples before Cards Against Humanity had
Yes,
come out.
me too.
And when I was a kid, and I was always in the groups that pushed the boundaries of Apples to Apples to try and make them kind of dirty jokes. So when
yeah.
Cards Against came out, right up my alley.
I can't play apples to apples anymore. It's not fun now that Cards Against Humanity like killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyways,
And then I think maybe that's it. I'm sure there's other games that are on my favorites list that I'm not thinking of.
Joking Hazard.
Joking Hazard's a great one. You need the right crowd because it's very offensive. So I just love having tons of games. Oh, Encore. It's a very scalable game. You can have 30 against 30, 15 against 15, 4 against 4. And basically, you're trying to get to the end of a board. You're racing. But the way you do that is you have to sing lyrics from song titles. So you pick cards based on what you roll and based on where you go. And then you get a word or a phrase or a category like songs about Christmas or the word blue or the word mine. And then each team has to sing a song with 8 words in a row from that fit that category. And then it just goes back and forth until one team can't think of one fast enough.
Yeah.
And they get to go.
Let's just do a tiny round. Let's use the word girl.
Girl?
I'll start. I'm just a girl in the world. That's all that you'll let me be. Okay, your turn.
Talking about my girl, my girl, my girl.
That's a good one.
Talking
Okay.
about my girl.
Okay. 'Cause you're my brown-eyed girl. Hey, where did we go?
There you go. You have to get 8 words in a
I know.
row. Important note. You can do different variations of the word. So for girl, I could do like girls in the bathroom, girls and in the laundry, girls. So I can use the plural version. Or if you have a word like wind, you could do windy. If you had run, you
can?
could do running. Yeah. And then when it gets to categories, it's funny because like songs about Christmas, you start singing Christmas songs, and as people are like stretching to try and stay in the category, you're like, well, this is more of like a hymn. So it's more of a church song, but it's sung at Christmas, and then you
Yeah.
get into all that.
Yeah.
It's a great game. And by the way, if you think you're a horrible singer or you think you have the worst memory,
Doesn't matter.
you would be surprised. People will come up with the strangest things from the corners of their mind.
100%.
Childhood songs, biblical songs, musicals, any of it.
Yeah. So those are our favorite games. Hopefully we've inspired you to want to start playing and check them out. So to round out this episode, we went to Target the other night and picked out like 3 or 4 new games to try out. And Alex,
I didn't pick one of those.
Oh, you didn't?
One. No, I picked one we already have.
oh, is it one that I've played?
Yeah, you played it once. We played it at Christmas. It's called Without,
Without
a
a
Doubt.
doubt. Oh, that's not fun with just 2 people.
No, it's great. Here.
Put it up to your...
So the rules, I'm not going to read them all, but they have a competitive mode where you're actually playing for points. Then they have a casual mode where you're just kind of using it as a conversation starter and you're all having conversations, which is what we did at Christmas around the table. And then there's people watching mode, which is where you take this out into like a park or a cafe and you use it where you're actually picking people out of the crowd.
Oh, wait, I like that
So
because
an
I love people
example,
watching.
yeah, one of these cards is who is the most likely to think they're a social media influencer in this room? Yes,
Me.
guaranteed. And then on the other side, there's another one. It's most likely to walk around with a pet snake in public.
You.
100%.
I will
Have
not touch a
done
snake.
that. Have done that. And then most likely to be on a first name basis with their Amazon driver. I think that's me.
Okay.
I think that would be. No, actually no, I take it back.
I feel like that would be me.
It would be you.
100%. I talk to everybody.
Who's the most likely to think candy hearts taste good?
You.
You. Okay.
No way!
I do-
Candy hearts?
Disgusting.
No.
But see, so this isn't like the gameplay version of the game, but it's just a giant stack of cards like this.
Yeah.
And you can play it in a competitive way where people are fighting for cards and fighting for points. You can play it in a casual way where it's just stoking conversations. Fantastic if you're inviting different friend groups over.
Yeah.
And then I really like the idea of people watching.
Well, hang on. I think that might be a fun date night. Now, listen to me. If you were on like a first date, like you were talking to someone on Tinder or Hinge or whatever, and you guys meet up for dinner, bring the game along
Oh, yeah.
and do it where you're looking at people you don't know, like around
In the restaurant?
you. Yes. I
Wait,
think that would be really
this is
fun.
Most likely to have a survival bunker in their backyard. Now imagine you're like, you've got wine,
around.
you've got an appetizer, you're waiting for the entree, and you're both just searching the
scoping
restaurant
out.
for the one who, and you're in a nice classy restaurant or even just a general restaurant.
Yeah.
But you're looking for that person who's got like that extra gruff to them where you're like, either they're a billionaire and they had a bunker built, or they're like just a little bit grungy and you know they're going home and they have one.
But I like the idea of doing this for strangers. Or like if you were on a subway, well, maybe not a subway, but restaurants or the park.
Yep. So that's one game. We've got a ton of these. I think we've probably got,
So many games.
I would say we probably have about 40 games, and I try and add
Every
6
year.
to 10 to the shelf every year, and I think we might even do that faster now.
Yeah.
Because we've got a reason to play them. So that's game night, y'all.
Okay.
Hope you survive it. I hope that when you have your friends, your spouse, your kids, your game nights, I hope you don't kill each other.
Yeah, please don't kill each other. But I also hope we've inspired you to, if you aren't a gamer or don't play games a lot, give it a try. It's really fun. And it's fun to do as a couple.